Hey guys, I just wanted to jump on. I've been wanting to chat all day. I had so much stuff on my mind since yesterday. I've been like on and off. Yesterday, everything I did on my show did not go that great. I was a little pissed off about that, but either way, sometimes things don't go the way you want them to. And when I say pissed off, let me not say that because that would sound like it's acceptable to get outraged about stuff not going the way you want it to go because that's a lot of the times. I could care less sometimes how things go, but when I'm trying to express something very valid, of course it becomes important to me. I wanted to talk to a couple of people about like the kids and things of that nature. It's crazy that I can't get people to join the conversation with me when I be jumping on here half the time. It's like I have stuff on my mind. A lot of times it's easy to call people, but I'm trying to expose information that'll be helpful to other people, stuff that come across. Um, had a conversation with my daughter 2 days ago that brought up a lot of interesting information as far as even I guess some of the stuff that talk about as far as coming to this world, dealing with the physical. I'm always tired by 6, 7 o'clock. Oh my gosh, I'm like up late and a lot of times I'm reading, I'm studying, um, I'm still taking some other classes actually. I don't know, there's a lot of different things that are going on when it comes to that. Trying to ignore these politics and things, but oh, excuse me, a lot of the political stuff that's going on right now is kind of confirmed in the Bible as far as like some of the stuff they've been planning out and it's like coming to pass and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be real crazy. Um, you don't know what's going to play out. They're playing like all these little different political games and religion games. We had the Democrats acting like, "Oh yeah, we here for you guys." They're doing all this pity patting people, with nonsense. Yeah, it's been a lot of craziness going on. So I don't know. I think that people should be trying to get themselves together, becoming, you know, financially stable, getting everything together so that your family has some things or resources to fall upon and so on and so forth from that. I think that is important to, um, I don't know, try and make sure that you're getting a clear point of view, from the things that are going on, like in uh, a perspective of everything, I guess. It's kind of hard for me to like disseminate everything I want to talk to, and I'm like running so many things through my mind. It's so good to converse. A lot of times I like to have my kids join me and talk, but my son's just getting off work a little while ago. My daughter, she's got the children that the baby and it's distracting for her. She can't even have enough time to have a full conversation. We can do it ourselves when we're talking as family, but on here we wouldn't want to expose you guys to all the different noise and ruckus, but we're used to it. Don't bother us. So she tried to get on here with me a couple of times. But the one thing I could say is that we need to be focused on getting financially set, being financially straight, trying to get grounded in certain things as far as having rights when it comes to the Treasury Department because they're about to be switching and doing this crypto. People are so focused on, oh, we're this race, we're that race, blah, 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 this, and that. But they're not doing nothing in their community. They're not trying to build anything. They're not trying to get together. Everybody just wants to talk about, what hasn't been done and what nobody is doing, but, want pulled together. Me and my one self cannot do but so much. I've been doing as much as I can, alone, but, if there's not any support to do the things that would be beneficial to others around us, then, it's just kind of crazy to me that we have to try to see, you know, um, sorry, give me a tissue. We have to try to see what's gonna be to our community and for our kids and stuff like that. We can't keep being lazy and oh well, it's me and all this nonsense. I mean, we got these people that are like sitting on our land. They telling us what to do, running everything around us, and they don't even own this. Anybody that's not an indigenous person, they're a foreigner to this land. So we have so many people that are doing things that are not beneficial to us, more beneficial to the ego. Um, I'm always feeling like, conversations to go on, I want to jump in, give my input, excuse me, give a little more information, this and that. People like brush my information off like it's like not that big of a deal to them. They don't want to build with me on it. They'll just take the information and start, building whatever ideas they want to build from there, because now they've got something implanted, piece of my energy. And it just, sometimes it's crazy. I'll be talking and they'll just like cut me off and just go on from whatever I'm talking about and make a whole conversation about it, and it's just like I'll be sitting there like this is like so crazy. But it's people's ego. Their egos are so crazy, especially when it comes to guys. I think I need to find more social web platform people that I could be involved with that are more in tune or thinking about ways to grow together versus, trying to, be separate and trying to make sure that, they're on their own thing and, not coming together with people, they'll say, oh, I'm support you, I'm support you, I'm support you, but they never do it, but they'll support each other and, you will continue to support them, go out your way, do things that, or give them ideas or even think of things to assist them or help them on their journey and the things that they're trying to do, even if they don't ask you, you just think of things that are going to help this person and voluntarily assist. And, people don't even appreciate things like that. But the energy a lot of times when trying to, I guess when trying to deal with people that have I guess not so good of a spirit. They'll say they're woke. They'll say, when I say woke, the conscious person, a person that knows what's going on and is aware of their environment and doing the right things. But everyone is not conscious, even though they'll say they're conscious. It's a learned behavior. It's a pattern. They say the things that they know other people want to hear, kind of like sociopathic behavior. Is kind of what I find out since I've been looking on these different panels and visiting and, even joining certain panels, different groups, different diversities, different topics. There are so many narcissistic personalities, so many sociopathic personalities. I mean, people that are just, I don't know, what's the best way to say it, I guess? Um, Antisocial, sociopaths. um, people that are bipolar and, they have schizophrenic type of personalities and it's just like crazy. Right now, being a life coach and that I study certain information, I'm finding a lot more about the difference in these personalities. A lot of them are very similar. I'm not going to give a lesson on social behavior, but a lot of social disabilities um, kind of tie into mental disabilities. A lot of the mental disabilities that people go through, they have no choice but to be the way that they are because they are um, mentally decapitated. A lot of times people think, oh, this person's a horrible person, or this person is this, this, and that, and it's like when you understand, some people's uh, capabilities when it comes to their mental health. Some people aren't even able to handle a situation. They can't handle a conversation. Some people, they don't even have emotions, you know. You'd be like, oh, a person's acting like they don't even care. Some people really don't. Some people are emotionless. They don't have uh feelings, and it's not being weird or anything. It's just that they don't. It's a detachment in the brain where they don't feel sympathy, they don't feel empathy, they don't feel hurt, they don't feel pain, they don't feel, a lot of times they don't even get angry because the most that they feel is a disrespectful nature where if they feel a person is trying to misguide them or mislead them, and if they see that, that's the most they would get. But yeah, these people they deal with these things all the time, and there's like not too many um, people that can recognize this behavior because a lot of times there are a lot of people that have the same type of behavior. Being in the environment that we live in, we pick up on these things because they're natural to us. It's not as uncommon for a person to be very angry, very withdrawn, have different personalities, being emotionless, being, like I said, sometimes psychotic, sometimes being drained or being manic, depressive, all these different things, schizophrenic, bipolar. There's such a variety of the issues that these people are going through. So when they're going through these issues, they have to disseminate, ways to act. So they'll try and figure it out. There are so many people that have these issues, and they need to, I guess, find a way to not only deal with it, but find a way to make it a normal part of their life. It's not that they want to have this issues. I mean, they obviously they can't control it. Some of these people, what they do is pick up on another person's behavior. So if they're entering a room, they're looking at the way people are acting, the mood in the room, how you go in the room, you can kind of pick up on what's going on. Um, they'll pick up on the mood of the room. So this is where they'll carry their mood to because they're not able to have their energies respond or anything. So what they'll do is pick up on another person's energy so they'll know if there's a sad mood, if, people are happy, giggling, and then they can go on their emotional state because they're detached from their emotions. This is something that is a break in the brain flow. It's a certain part of the brain that is not being ignited, and there's not the proper flow of neutrons and electrons that are giving the energy to that area. This is a lot of times incurable because some children are born this way due to certain deformalities during their time in the mother's womb. I believe it has something to do with the birthing cycle. I believe it has something to do with either some type of medicine the mother was given when she was pregnant. It may also have something to do with the ultrasounds a mother gets. Sometimes they want to do 2 and 3 and 4 ultrasounds on the children. When doing the ultrasounds, what it does is gives a certain amount of light waves to the baby. So when the baby is getting those light waves and the energy um, during their growth cycle, certain cells and things may be diminished or even broken, I would think, or certain lights in those cells diminished due to those ultrasonic waves. Depending on the child or the chemistry of the parent and what type of uh, molecular structure they have with the mixing of certain races or, so on and so forth, there would be a possible increase in intelligence in a child where they may think that it may do something to uh, make a dysfunction for the child. So, seeing that a child that is pure light, that is being formed into a physical form or being formed into the physical body, when that child is actually um, um, when a child is actually being formed and they retrieve those ultraviolet rays, right? You would think it may possibly increase the energy levels in that in the formation of that fetus and give it a certain light or a certain energy that may actually improve certain functions of the child. That's on the positive side, and then it may also take away from the light energy of that child or diminish certain areas that may be growing at the particular time that they're doing the ultrasound. So, we'll never know this unless someone does a study on this. And of course, we wouldn't want to risk anyone's child, but we know that it's not good. So I would suggest not getting ultrasounds for your child. Another thing on that, um, I don't want to really get too much on that. That's like a lot to talk about when it comes to that. I don't want to get too deep. I'll get distracted. But when it comes to that, possibly I'll talk about it another time. But when it comes to that light body and the organ energy and that frequency and the baby or the fetus being in the water actually, actually is going to resonate or carry the light and molding of that child. So depending on what the ultrasound will also do to the placenta and the water waves, the ultrasonic waves that would be penetrating through the fetus at that particular time. So I think that may be very important to be cautious of. More to go into that at another time. But when it comes to that, we have to be careful because we know these things can definitely harm our children. They can definitely make the children have certain illnesses, and they're born with cerebral palsy, epilepsy, Bell palsy, autism. All these things are happening. It's like, oh, what happened? Yeah, these are things that are happening. Being unnatural with your child during the pregnancy, having all these visits where they're poking and prodding and putting all these different electrical instruments in or around the child, listening to certain things with these monitors. And there's just a lot going on that we need to be cautious of when it comes to these kids. And then when the kids are coming out, they're obviously stunting everything. They're cutting their umbilical cords. They're cutting their life source, which is the energy and stem cells that carry the information in the mitochondrial DNA, a fluctuation of information that flows back and forth and pumps from the placenta. It beats actually like a heartbeat. If it's not detached from the baby, the placenta actually would continue to beat for a few minutes after the delivery until it disseminates all of the blood cells from the body and the placenta until the baby. So it's important that that's a natural thing to do when that's being cut. Obviously, there's a lack of oxygen, stem cells that would help with the baby as far as the amniotic information that comes from the amniotic fluid. it carries certain information and light cells, so on and so forth as well. So when we're thinking about that, they're cutting that off. So the child's having another stunt at that point in time. Then there's also going to be another stunt when the parents are more than likely not breastfeeding. Young women are having children more and more. Younger women are on the go. They're partying a lot. They don't have a lot of time to breastfeed. So there's the formula. Even a lot of parents that are not young, but that work and they're too busy and, it's just time consuming. They have other children in the house and they just don't want to be bothered. They can't take the time or the sacrifice to breastfeed their children. So what happens then, they're forced to formula. So now they're putting all these different antigens and hormones and things from cows and it's just disgusting, the life that these children are born into and fed into, to actually help to inseminate and continue to propagate falsehoods and lies and, all of this stuff. So this is kind of what we're going through right now. All right, guys, that was all I wanted to talk about as far as that. I did want to talk about my daughter, but what we were talking about with the spirit thing, but I think I'll get into that another time. All right.